saying that Spurs are open to bids for Brennan Johnson with an offer of 35 million expected to pave the way for a move. Crystal Palace are keen to land Brennan Johnson in the January transfer window, and our signing an attacker is being treated as a matter of urgency. So that sounds like it could happen quite early.
35 million seems a good deal for someone.
Well, that's what I said to him when it first broke. I said, I bet you it'll be around 35 million.
I thought they'd want a bit more than that, but maybe they're desperate to get him out because they want to make room. And look, to be fair, we've been calling for,
that's what I'm saying.
I think if Levy was still here, it wouldn't be 35.
Yeah, 100%. But that's what I've been saying. Like, if you've got someone that you don't believe is part of the future and part of the project, then you're desperate to bring in someone, and we know we need someone out to bring someone in. You just got to do what you got to do at some point.
I think the noise to me tells me this is definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I think it will happen. But like I said, there has been kind of slight rumours on Aston Villa as well, so maybe we can get a bit of a bidding war.
I think 35 million would be a good deal for someone, because look, at the end of the day, he's first season 15 goal contribution, second season, how many did he get? He got 18 goals and how many
in all
assists
competitions.
in all competitions.
He didn't get many. He got like 4 or 5 assists, I think.
So like what, 25 goal contributions or something. So the guy can do it. So it's all about playing to his strengths. So I think he can what he can offer at this level. It's not like it's a potential. It's like you'll bring him in because he can get this amount of goals. So I think for 35 million, and look, it's a shame to be making a loss considering he's.
I think it's a market value deal.
Yeah,
I think it's a market value deal. I think his market value, or where I see his value, is somewhere between 30 and 40 million. Around that thing. So 35, I think, look, everyone knows we overpaid for Brennan Johnson.
Yeah,
when
we definitely did. Yeah, we know that.
And we bought him 50 million.
Was it deadline day? Or was it late in the window?
Yeah. So 35 million, I think it seems a bit cheap because of what we paid for him, but I actually think it's a market value deal.
But it's also like, objectively, we're making a loss on a player who was our top goal scorer last season.
Yeah.
It's quite a bad loss as well, what, 12 million?
Yeah, I mean,
it was like 47.5, wasn't it?
Yeah. So look, but we overpaid for him. That's the reality. So if you want to get him out the door, you're going to have to make a loss. That's just what it is. So
look, at the end of the day, when strikers, you see what they're going for. We got Xavi for 51 million, which is what, a few million more than what we paid for Brennan. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, we have to sit here and say, we got that one wrong. Not necessarily. I don't think he's a bad player, and obviously we'll always have Bilbao, and we're always going to be thought fondly of Brennan. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be badly thought of, but we did overpay.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Graham Bailey also says that Bournemouth sources have confirmed that Semenyo will be leaving the club in January, and they're planning accordingly. And Tottenham's Brennan Johnson is emerging as an option for Bournemouth.
He's very different to Semenyo, obviously. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think. To be fair, I think the way Bournemouth play, maybe could work. Maybe could work. They play a very chaotic way of playing, but I actually think Semenyo works because he's just such a high volume shooter from so many different angles, whereas Brennan's not quite like that. He's more like one shot, one goal, rather than loads of shots in a game. So it's very different.
Yeah. To be fair though, like under Ange, particularly in the first season, he was having quite a lot of shots in games. I remember like quite regularly he was getting like 5 or 6 shots in a game, Brennan Johnson.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that. He doesn't seem to be the guy who just like cuts inside and shoots, you know what I mean? He'll
showed it for Wales.
For Wales he did, to be fair, yeah, but he doesn't do it as regularly as someone like Semenyo.
No.
Like if you're expecting him to, could he replace Semenyo's output potentially? But in terms of how he does it, it's very different.
Another one from Fabrizio Romano. Surprise, surprise here. Tottenham are no longer advancing on Antoine Semenyo as of today.
Well, to be fair, this has happened before the window's open, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all knew what was going to happen on that, but it's just like yesterday, Fabrizio Romano, Spurs are aggressively attacking the Antoine Semenyo situation today. Semenyo, no longer advancing.
Semenyo today aggressively defended his no going to Tottenham. So I'm happy that this is out the way because I didn't want this to bleed into the window if there was absolutely no chance of him coming. So I'm glad we've got like the hard no, like before the window is even open, so we don't need to waste any more time on this. At the end of the day, is 11 days or 12 days to the window. So the fact that, clearly we've sounded him out, and he's like, hell no.
Yeah.
I ain't coming. I'm going to go to United. I'm going to go to, or whatever. I'm going to go to City or Liverpool. Yeah. And that's it. So fine, that's fair. And we always thought that's a high possibility. And I'm glad that's out of the way. One other caveat I would say is, there's been a couple of players who already told us no and have come back with their tails between their legs, and we've ended up getting them. So
what,
Moani, Tel, Xavi. It's happened a few times.
Yeah.
Where we've heard hard no, and then it doesn't work out with the other clubs, and they come back. So I guess you should always be open to that possibility. But look,
I don't think that's going to happen here.
We don't need to waste any more time.
Yeah, I agree. But be interested to see the dynamic between this, though, because I think in their mind they wanted to sell Brennan Johnson and bring in Antoine Semenyo. That's what, if they had the choice to do, that's what they would do. Do they sell Brennan Johnson before we bring in a replacement, or do they bring in a replacement and then sell Brennan Johnson?
What I guess they'll do is have a deal agreed with the club to sell Brennan, and then push the green button as soon as we got the replacement in. That's probably what I think. Look, that's what Levy would do.
Yeah.
Whether this club are going to act differently, I think that's probably the right thing to do, to be fair.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if we end up this transfer window and we've sold Brennan Johnson, we haven't brought in another attacker, that's awful. And
I think that's what's smart. It's what Chelsea did, with the Nicholas Jack, or who they do. They've done, I think that's what a smart team would do. You don't just sell without any possibility, but you don't. I also wouldn't want us to not sign not only push the green button on signing someone on the basis that Brennan leaves. I want us to sign someone regardless of Brennan leaving.
Yeah.
But I do agree that Brennan, if Brennan's the full guy, he needs to go, get him out, get a decent fee for him, and then replace him. And I think that's the right thing to do for us.
Yeah, there has been some rumours across the internet. I don't know how reliable they are or who they're even from, about Omar Marmoush to Tottenham. Where have they come from?
Some Man City ITK, I think. I don't know if he's an ITK, but it's a Twitter account who has a Man City AVI. I've got no idea.
See, Omar Marmoush is at the AFCON, though.
Yeah, he's at the AFCON. So, I mean, look, AFCON's up in January, 18th. So, that, not going to be there forever. So I wouldn't say that rules him out of moving. Maybe does it rule him out moving while the AFCON's going on? Probably. I doubt he'll agree a deal to move.
You could have a deal in place for the.
You could do. So I mean, I would love to take Marmoush off City's hands. He hasn't really. It's been a bit of a weird season for him. He hasn't really done it.
Marmoush, I felt like he did really well initially when going to Man City, and it's kind of fallen off a little bit. And I think it fell off like back end of last season.
I think more this season. I thought last season was quite good, wasn't he?
He was good, but I thought it would decline towards the end.
Maybe. I think he was.
But this year he's had injuries.
He was brought in though to replace Mahrez. I feel, not Mahrez, Alvarez, and hasn't quite just filled that role. Whether it's, I don't know, because Alvarez used to come in for Haaland, and he used to be basically scorers like loads of goals, and all play with Haaland. Whereas it hasn't quite happened with Marmoush and Haaland. When he's come in, came with that Champions League game, they lost. And then when he's played with Haaland, it hasn't quite clicked. Hasn't quite had the same impact as Alvarez has for one reason or another. But clearly is a very, very good player.
The thing is with Marmoush, though, do we want to sign him as a replacement to Brennan Johnson? I'd much prefer him as a 9.
Either way. Sign him.
But it doesn't solve our problems on the wing, is what I'm saying.
He's not a winger, but he can do a job on the wing. No, he's not a winger, but he could be I think he's probably a better inside forward than Moani, to be honest. Although Moani might be a bit of a better dribbler. I think I prefer someone like Marmoush cutting inside and having a go than Moani. But yeah, he's not a winger.
I would want to sign Marmoush in replacement for Solanke or Richarlison. That's what I would want, not in replacement for Brennan. That's my point. But anyway, that is another Tottenham update for you, and that is your live stream done and dusted. We'll